Did you get everything?
No.
Okay.
We have too many things. Come sweet home.
Maybe you've been asking where we've been for the last 2 months.
I'm on a boat!
But not just any boat. Longtime subscribers will remember that we have a goal of one day buying a Dutch barge and converting it into a houseboat so we can motor through Europe at 5 miles an hour.
Part 1 of that plan was convincing my mom to rent a barge in France to make sure that we liked it. And it was a success. For her vacation, she paid our way to Europe and rented a 50-foot barge in the canals of France. Thanks, Mom!
To our surprise, there were no prerequisites for renting a 4-cabin, 2-wheelhouse 50-foot barge in Europe.
No experience, no license needed.
To my credit, I did pass the Bobby the Bobber boating safety course when I was 14, so that I could drive the jet skis at church camp. And that little card had an expiration date of never, so I thought I was pretty qualified.
Getting behind the wheel was a completely different story.
These boating companies must really believe in a trial by fire method, because after just a 20-minute crash course, we were set out all on our own.
It's pretty much like driving a 40-foot RV plus a 24-foot trailer all over again. Except that it's floating. But I still have some pretty great anxiety.
Approaching our first lock immediately after leaving the harbor, I suggested that we should pull off to the side and see how it's done before attempting to squeeze through the gates.
I sheepishly admitted that I didn't know how to pull the boat off to the side, and that going straight down the middle into the lock seemed more doable. So in we went, and what an amazing marvel this system is.
The Canal Du Midi was built between 1666 and 1681 during the reign of Louis XIV.
Basically, it's a series of locks that raise and lower your boat 20 feet at a time to match the elevation of the landscape.
So this is a double lock. We go from one lock to another.
The Canal Du Midi is one of the oldest canals of Europe still in operation.
It's entirely man-made with no current or tide. It was used to transport goods by horse-drawn barge until the middle of the 19th century when railroads took over. Now it's used mainly for recreation, although we did see a few barges full of gravel. If you have a boat, or if you rent one, you can simply move about the country visiting small towns and villages, mooring on the banks of the canal free of charge for as long as you'd like.
After our first lock, we quickly realized while there was an element of danger, these were basically bumper boats and we were one of the more proficient vessels on the canal.
I became more comfortable as captain, and by the end of the trip, dare I say, we were comfortable navigating the small bridges and busy harbors with ease.
Each night we picked a spot on the bank near town and either ate a meal or went to buy supplies for a home-cooked meal on the bridge.
They're church bells. It's like magic. Right? Hudson loves Europe.
At times, it was truly a fairy tale.
Merci.
Other times, it was a lot of work. In order to complete our route, we passed through a total of 54 locks.
Each requiring someone, me, to work the ropes at the bow and stern.
Lock number 6. Lauren gets off at the dock here and then goes up and then goes around and meets us so we can toss the rope up to her.
Add to that the heat of southern France, and a sun that didn't set until 10 p.m., and the conditions were less than ideal at times.
Most evenings, we found a park with some shade nearby to try and beat the heat.
But overall, the trip was magical. Although repetitive, the landscapes were breathtaking at every turn, and the towns were anti-tourist traps. Some lacked basic infrastructure, which was nice. Others were large modern cities, which was also nice.
There was no shortage of croissants, cheese, and local wine no matter where we ended up.
Jackpot. Bonjour.
If you're looking for a completely unique vacation, it's definitely something we would recommend. Just have the expectation of wearing a bathing suit rather than a spring jacket, and to get a few calluses on your hands.
Our trip ended with a pretty climactic return to the harbor just hours before a big storm came through. Our 80 horsepower engine had so little power over the wind that we ended up having the harbor master come on board and just tie us up against the wall.
Since the most expensive part of a European vacation is actually getting there, we decided to take advantage of Lauren's mom's generosity and spend an additional 5 weeks backpacking with our 1-year-old.
But we won't be sharing our entire trip. Instead, Mike would like to share with you his favorite part, the door hardware. Stay tuned to see what he's talking about.
Uh-oh. Think we may be stuck in a lock. This is not good. Yay!